Welcome back to the program.
We're all distracted.
We are here at on AM 560, The Answer. Here with our technical producers, George. My co-host here is Jim Leahy. And you, the listener.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, Mr. Know-It-All, ladies and gentlemen. The segment where attorney Stephen Leahy gives us his infinite wisdom on all things tax-related. And this week, we are going to be talking about something that will interest you, Mr. and Mrs. Small Business Owner. That's right, you who put your neck on the line to put food on the table and build a life for yourself. That's right, you who continue to run with the values of liberty, justice, and freedom. That's right, you, the Illinois taxpayer. And we're going to talk about full financial recovery.
Full financial recovery. What exactly is that? So
it sounds like full financial recovery.
Yeah, but what does
in Illinois that has to be relative.
it's relative. But here's what it means. Okay, because when the last time we had this crisis, such as the housing crisis back in 2008 and thereafter, what I found is when small business people, when people running small businesses, when they have problems, it's not one thing, right? It's not just your credit cards. It's not just your mortgage. It's not just the IRS. It's all of those things. Everything gets put into one barrel, and you're trying to pay rob from Peter, pay Paul, and you're kind of shuffling things around, and you're trying to make it work. And what happens is then you might go to an attorney that for bankruptcy, for instance, or then you have to, but he doesn't work well with your foreclosure defense attorney, and your foreclosure defense attorney tells you, well, you better go hire somebody that can help you with the loan modification. And if you owe the IRS money, you better go find someone that knows something about IRS stuff, because none of them seem to know anything about it. So what happened was, when I started helping people with their foreclosure issues, and I had already done some bankruptcies, and sometimes the best remedy for a foreclosure issue is bankruptcy. And it just so happens that some of the best remedies for IRS problems is also bankruptcy. Uh-huh. But what I found was, when people were behind in their mortgage and they ran a small business, they were often behind to the IRS, and that's what got me involved with helping people with the IRS problems. And so I can see that this is where we're going to go now, right?
So there's a trail that you could follow, and you go, here's the main root of the issue.
Yeah, and really the root of the issue is that you ran out of money. Okay, and so you could start rebuilding your business, but what happens is that people get depressed, and then they give up on their business because they don't have any money to pay anybody, and then they're going to lose their home, and But what people don't realize is this stuff takes time. Okay, so when you fall behind your mortgage, they can't come in the next day and say, they're not like your landlord that can evict you in 30 days. And I can't tell you how many people came to see me and they had missed a mortgage payment, and they stand by the window, or their wife stands by the window all day and waits for someone to come and knock them out of their house. And it's just driving them crazy. And, and they're worried sick about losing their home because they don't realize what the rules are. The rule is that it's going to take them at least 9 months to a year for them to complete a foreclosure against you. And that's after they bring a foreclosure case. So once you miss one payment, they're not going to come and knock you out of the house. And it's the same thing with credit card debt. Now, most people, I've never missed a payment. So when they finally do miss a payment because they have no other choice, it drives them crazy, because they don't know what's going to happen. They think that people are going to come after them tomorrow. This stuff takes a long time. And even with the credit card debt, right? They have to take you to court. They have to get you served. They have to get a judgment. And they have to come after your wages. And they have to go after your bank account. That takes a long time. Same thing with the IRS. I owe the IRS some money, right? First, I have to file my tax return, or then they have to assess a tax against me. And then they got to try to collect it. Then they have a series of notices that they have to send me before they can start taking things away from me. And there's things you can do now. If you're starting to fall behind now, there's things you can do to prolong that. So, bankruptcy is not always the answer, but it's often a very good negotiating tool, right? So you can avoid bankruptcy if you start early and you start negotiating with your creditors early and don't ignore it. And that's what people are afraid of. And that's why you need an attorney, right? Because you don't want to talk to your creditors. You don't want them, because they get very nasty with you, and they call you names, and they make you and they make you upset, and that's what they're trying to do, because they're trying to shake some money out of you, right? So they're trying to have you go ask Aunt Flois. Flois?
I guess there could be an Aunt Flois.
Auntie Flo for some money, to borrow some money from her to pay them. And if they upset you enough, you will.
Flo.
The progressive. So anyway, this is what happens. Okay, so now if you're starting to miss payments now, or even if you haven't missed them, but you know it's going to come, now's the time to start planning for this. Now's the time to hire someone that can help you. And that's what we call full financial recovery, because I can help you with I pull all that into one package and help you. So you don't have to go to a bunch of different lawyers who don't work well together. You come to my office and we put it all together, and we help people solve all of these problems. And that's what makes us a little bit different than the rest of them. We help you achieve full financial recovery.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Remember, Opem Tax Advocates is there for you, the small business owner. Give them a call today, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Be proactive. Take advantage of Opem Tax Advocates' extensive knowledge and give them a call, 312-664-6649. To a commercial break, so stay tuned here on AM 560, The Answer.